Hi, I'm Deboki, and this is Okie Dokie Boki, and today I am going to be reviewing Descendant of the Crane by Joan, a book that I went into with very neutral expectations and came out of feeling pleasantly very surprised. Descendant of the Crane is a YA fantasy that follows the story of Hesina, who has just inherited the throne from her father, the deceased emperor of the Yan kingdom. Yan is founded on the tenets of the 11, a group that rebelled centuries ago against the previous rulers and the soothsayers whose power or whose abilities they use for their own power. Now sooths or the soothsayers are forbidden from the kingdom, and rule is built upon the laws laid out by the 11, ostensibly to create an equal and just society. Hesina, of course, just has one problem. She doesn't think that her dad just, casually died of natural causes. She believes he was murdered, and proving that will require to break the tenets that her own rule is founded upon. I think I picked up this book basically because the summary promised courtly intrigue, a mystery, a Chinese-inspired setting. Like, that was it. Like, those three things, I was like, yeah, I'm sold. But I went in with really neutral expectations because I don't know, I've had one of those years where, like, so far I've gone into a lot of books thinking that they're gonna be great and then just like being kind of like, I'm not interested, like one of those years. And I think especially like YA books have a lot of hype built around them, which makes it easier to be disappointed. I don't know. I don't want to be like one of those dumb people who's like, like YA books are all terrible, because they're not all terrible. YA is like every other category where some books are great and some books are not. I also don't want to be one of those people who's like super aggravating and condescending and being like, this is the YA book that's actually good. But yeah, whatever it is, I just went into this book like trying to keep my expectations to a minimum because I just didn't want to set myself up for disappointment. So with all that said, oh hey, guess who found his way back into a video? God, I don't have enough battery for this. Okay, let's get serious. So with all that said, all those minimal expectations aside, I ended up really loving this book and being kind of like completely engrossed by it. Like, while I was reading it, I was kind of obsessed with the book. And yeah, let's just get into why. I wanted courtly intrigue and a mystery, and I got courtly intrigue and a mystery. Hesina rises to the throne, but it's under these circumstances where, like, even though everybody in the kingdom thinks that her dad has died of natural causes, she does not believe so. And she's in this position where she doesn't know who to trust. She's got this like dogmatic minister, she's got this warrior soldier brother, she's got these adopted siblings who are like statesmen. There's also this convict who's meant to be her ambassador in the ongoing trial to investigate her dad's death. Like, there's just a lot of like confusion about who she can trust. To make it all worse, Hesina has like a terrible relationship with her mother. She doesn't know why her mother doesn't like her. She just knows that, this woman who's her mom has also told her that she's going to lead the empire into ruin, which I don't know. I'm sure we've all disappointed our parents at some point, but I don't think my parents would ever say some shit like that to me. So there's also, and on top of that, there's also like an impending war with a neighboring kingdom. Like, Hesina, sorry, I don't know how to pronounce her name. She's got a lot on her plate. I think one of the things that I thought the book was really great at is grasping how hard it would be for any one person to deal with that. I am usually a huge fan of what people call competence porn. I love watching people who know what they're doing just do it. Like, if you are really good at something and that's what you do and that's what the book is about, I think that's great. But Hesina is not that. Like, it's not that she's incompetent, it's that she's still learning. And the book doesn't shy away from the fact that that means she's going to make mistakes. The book also gives a sense for like, what is her potential? Like, she is making these mistakes, but what is it that she's learning? What is it that's innate to her that gives her the potential to be someone that you're really rooting for? The supporting cast is also really great, with distinct personalities who, feel like they're actually living a life even when they're not on the page. I found Songjin, who is Hesina's younger brother, who's also a soldier. I found him really compelling, just the way that like he and she are trying to figure out their relationship. He also has like this complicated friendship with May, who is one of his soldiers, and she ends up playing a bigger role in the story. There's just a lot there that I found really compelling. I think one of the reasons that the supporting cast stood out to me is I think they really helped to give like a sense of the world that the mystery is building in, and like that all of this intrigue is built around. Like you have a real sense of the impact that the central mystery has, not just on Hasina, like the main character, but also the people around her who are invested in either supporting her or figuring out what's going on, or maybe their own mystery agendas. And that all helped me to become super invested in the mystery itself. There are twists to these stories that you may or may not figure out. I think I figured out quite a few of them, which is usually frustrating. But I think what this book does really well is kind of integrate those twists. That figuring them out, like finding out that I was right, was only kind of like half the story. There was more to those twists than just an attempt to surprise you. They opened up new questions and ideas that Hasina has to deal with. Like they have real consequences that the book itself is illustrating her attempt to like process. With all of that love aside, this book is not perfect, and I'm not sure that everyone will love it. There was some clumsy writing that I wasn't a fan of towards the beginning. I was a little bit nervous when I saw that because I was like, the first like chapter or two didn't quite grab me, so I just wasn't fully sold that I was going to enjoy reading the book. But I think if you're having similar feelings, I would recommend pushing through the first few chapters, because at least for me, I was fully gripped by the end of that. By far the weakest part of the book for me was the romance. Surprise, like I love a good romance, so that's like, for me, I'm not someone who will like complain about an unnecessary romance, but Hasina and this convict slash representative, there is a semblance of a love story between them, but I don't think it was well executed. I think the real problem is that of the supporting cast, the convict is the least developed. He is sort of your standard mystery love interest dude where like you're kind of like, he has secrets, but like she's drawn to him because even despite those secrets, or maybe because of those secrets, like you don't know what's going on, like kind of one of those figures. But I just, even when the mystery of who he is was unraveled, I it's kind of like shrugged, like I don't care, like I don't have a sense of stakes for him. The only sense of stakes I have is for this love story, and I'm not sold on it. But if your only concern about this book is that love story, which is fully telegraphed in the summary and like might be something that's putting you off, I would still say to give this book a chance, because the bright side is that that love story does not really play into the story that much overall. Like it's kind of a minimal aspect of the book, which might be part of why it doesn't really work well, but on the bright side, it means that you won't have to worry too much. You won't have to really deal with it too much. And I think the other mystery and intrigue around it make it kind of like greatly overshadow that narrative overall. So overall, if you're looking for a mystery with political intrigue that isn't set around European history, I would recommend giving this book a chance. I am kind of very much hoping for a sequel, and I want to know more about Hasina and her friends and her kingdom and her enemies and everything else. I am very into this world right now. If you've read Descendant of the Crane, let me know. Give me your thoughts along with suggestions for other similar books with political intrigue. I'm always looking for more of that. Right now, especially in this post, like, why did I watch this last season of Game of Thrones world? Like, I would love some more like courtly intrigue books that pay off well. So thank you guys for watching, and yeah, bye.